This is Calicat, the Calicatster, and this is a review of episode 4 of Strange New Worlds this season, A Space Adventure Hour. Jonathan Frakes directed it. A Alon and Spock episode. Because apparently she gets around. She had Kirk in the other dimension, and the other season kind of gets Spock in this one. But yeah, I want to reference that character from the Star Trek Renegades, and that's in there. Also, she's kind of Sandy from Jones One as well. But yes, and over on Lower Decks, we got Tendi, who is our other third, who are Gamelt characters. But he didn't pitch them; they just kind of borrowed them, and we didn't pitch Sandy; they just kind of borrowed it. The other ones didn't pitch Tilly; they just kind of borrowed it. A bunch of fan films borrowing stuff. So in this episode, we have them liberally borrowing from Silly in Space again, with a episode where it's basically Star Trek, but it's goofier. Last Frontier is the name of it. Space the Final Frontier was the name of the Canary Space originally, because we were ripping off Star Trek. There are two, and it's Star Trek. So in this one, it's canon. So also they had a Bug Queen lady from Canary Space, of course, same universe as Space the Final Frontier. and then you had a mystery hour, murder mystery type of Knives Out type of clue thing, similar to Dixon Hill. We clarify that Spock line from Star Trek VI, where he says his ancestor was Arthur Conan Doyle and not Sherlock Holmes. So on Amanda Grayson's side of the family, he's descended from Arthur Conan Doyle. The episode uses a holodeck, which goes haywire and traps them in the holodeck. It's in the Next Generation quite a bit. But it was new to the people in the Next Generation, 100 years after this story. And it was like completely new technology to them, and they had a dedicated server and all that. They had something like a holodeck, a rec deck, in the animated Star Trek, and they addressed that in the episode by saying this is a primitive version of the rec deck holodeck. So they're holograms and stuff. Yeah. So they get trapped on it. They go on a murder mystery. The Star Trek producer the Final Frontier producer is killed, and they have to find out who murdered the producer. The computer seems extremely smart with its details, including the cast from the crew in the Cillian versions of themselves in the story. It's basically Strange New Worlds does Strange Worlds of Star Trek Legacy, Chimera. It's basically what it is. It's them doing Starship Locations. And you'd think I would like it more than I actually did. At least the parts where they were doing the other Star Trek, where Star Trek spoof were interesting, and mentioning like from the get-go of some of the dialogue and the characters saying Star Trek, or this version of it, is a mirror on humanity at the time, and it was they attempted to show a better world, a better future. The humanist perspective is mentioned in there. That line which is from a lot of the Star Trek stuff, but it's also from Fearful Symmetry and The Arbiter. Those two episodes that we did. It's sort of like that too. So they watched them. They've been paying attention to our stuff, and the murder mystery stuff is a little weak. And there's a neutron star and it's going to go off and they're going to escape from it. Yeah. So there's it's just there's parts of it that don't work though. It becomes it works as a spoof story. That's fine as a parody. That's what Silly Trek is. and they're gonna have a Spock one where they'll be turn into Vulcans or something. It's even sillier. Yeah, I had nothing to do with this season, although you'd think I did. And the Jonathan Frakes episode is definitely, yeah, it has potential. It wasn't as much fun as you thought it would be. There are fake outtakes on the end that are quite like obvious, whereas the Star Trek bloopers reel, gag reel, and it's funny to reference that, those were real, like screw ups on the set. Whereas making like, oh, the chair fell apart, or oh, the guy falls through the wall, or she trips through the set, or the door doesn't close, those actually happened on the set, and doing a spoof of them a la the end of Toy Story 2, as though they're real bloopers going on, but is like, no, they're clearly forced. They're not really bloopers. Bloopers are the bloopers are spontaneous. They're screw ups, and that was part of what was the goofy. And the tango dance in the beginning and the end, or they fall for each other, or whatever. That's cute, but it's kind of silly. Like a dance actually, if a dance actually made people want to bone, then everybody that goes to a dance party would immediately have an orgy. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Oh, but okay, they didn't have an orgy, or they would get frisky like immediately after a dance. The power of the Cillians or something. That's not how that works. Yeah, there's similar to the LA Confidential movie, crossed with a little bit of a Hollywoodland, a little bit of Knives Out, but not too much really. It was more like the other one, Hollywood Adventure. They've done a bunch of those noir kind of thing, noir sendup, but it was on a holodeck, and she was trying to be Dixon Hill basically. Yeah, so that's fine. But she was somebody else. She was playing someone else, other mystery person. Sure. Since we're a little goofy, although the sound quality was pretty good, they actually had the sound kicked up a little better. But then they kind of lose it when they're on that big expansive set and they're doing the tango scene again. Yeah. Lawn Sing. How come the other one's like partly augment and that one isn't in there? Yeah, that's confusing. There's there's 4 ladies on the ship that are like brunettes with brown eyes. They kind of look similar. I get that she's not the one from the helm because the one was on the helm. I get that she's on. But it's like the commander and the other commander and the other captain lady are similar too. It's like they just... Well, there's precedent for that because there were several Roberts on Voyager. There was a Robert Picardo, Robert Beltran, and Robert Duncan McNeil. Anyway, so yeah. And yeah. That's sad, I guess. It was fine. Fine, but kind of forced. Yeah.